The Onagawa nuclear power plant is a nuclear power plant located on a 1,730,000 square meters site in Onagawa, in the Oshika district and Ishinomaki city, Miyagi Prefecture, Japan. It is managed by the Tohoku Electric Power Company. It was the most quickly constructed nuclear power plant in the world. All the reactors were constructed by Toshiba. The Onagawa-3 unit was used as a prototype for the Higashidri nuclear power plant. The plant was shut down after the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. The Onagawa nuclear power plant was the closest nuclear power plant to the epicenter, and facing the Pacific Ocean on Japan's northeast coast, experienced very high levels of ground shaking, among the strongest of any plant affected by the earthquake, and some flooding from the tsunami that followed. All three reactors at the power plant successfully withstood the earthquake and tsunami without incident. Following an IAEA inspection in 2012, the agency stated that the structural elements of the NPS were remarkably undamaged given the magnitude of ground motion experienced and the duration and size of this great earthquake. More recently, Tohoku Electric reported that the third floor of No. 2 reactor building lost about 70% of its structural rigidity and the first floors lost 25% compared to when they were built, and was planning to reinforce the structures for increased quake resistance. In 2013, the station operators sent an application request to restart Unit 2 at Onagawa to the Japanese Nuclear Regulation Authority. Reactor 2 is expected to be restarted in 2021 following upgrade work. It was announced in 2018 that Onagawa Unit 1, which has been idled since 2011, will be decommissioned. Tohoku Electric also plans to resume operations of the Onagawa Unit 2 reactor in 2020-21 following significant safety improvements. The plant conforms fully to ISO 14001, a set of international environmental management standards. The plant's waste heat water leaves 7 degrees Celsius higher than it came in and is released 10 meters under the surface of the water, in order to reduce adverse effects on the environment. The Onagawa nuclear power plant was affected by the 2005 Miyagi earthquake and recorded vibrations above what the plant was designed for. Analysis after the event, however, found no damage to the reactor systems. Some people reported seeing smoke come from the plant after the earthquake and reported it, thinking that it indicated an accident. But the smoke was actually produced by the backup diesel generators. The Onagawa nuclear power plant was the closest nuclear power plant to the epicenter of the 2011 Tohoku earthquake, less than half the distance of the stricken Fukushima I power plant. The town of Onagawa to the northeast of the plant was largely destroyed by the tsunami which followed the earthquake, but the plant's 14 meters high seawall was tall and robust enough to prevent the power plant from experiencing severe flooding. Yanosuke Hirei, who died in 1986, is cited as the only person on the entire power station construction project to push for the 14.8 meter breakwater. Although many of his colleagues regarded 12 meters is sufficient, Hirei's authority eventually prevailed, and Tohoku Electric spent the extra money to build the 14.8 meters tsunami wall. Another of Hirei's proposals also helped ensure the safety of the plant during the tsunami. Expecting the sea to draw back before a tsunami, he made sure the plant's water intake cooling system pipes were designed so it could still draw water for cooling the reactors. All safety systems functioned as designed. The reactors automatically shut down without damage, and no reactor damage occurred. A fire broke out in the turbine hall, which is sited separately from the plant's reactor in a building housing the electricity generating turbine, but was soon extinguished. Following the tsunami, 200 to 300 residents of the town who lost their homes to the tsunami took refuge in the Onagawa nuclear plant's gymnasium, as the reactor complex was the only safe area in the vicinity to evacuate to, with the reactor operators supplying food and blankets to the needy. At the time, Reuters suggested that the Onagawa nuclear power plant may demonstrate that it is possible for nuclear facilities to withstand the greatest natural disasters, and to retain public trust. The plant was shut down following the earthquake and tsunami. in accordance with standard legally mandated procedure after such an event. But despite the IAEA finding that the plant had survived the quake remarkably undamaged, the 3 units remain in cold shutdown. Whereas the mishaps at Fukushima radically changed public opinion on safety and risks, Tohoku Electric seems to have preserved much of its pre-disaster goodwill in the area of Onagawa. While the tsunami was more than 13 meters high at both Fukushima I and the Onagawa power plant, the largest difference between them, apart from the reactor safety systems being